Right here on the gram. Armando started a live video. What is up, everybody? I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds and then we're going to start the content into cash process that we use for our business and for our clients as well on how do we create content, how do we develop it, shoot it, edit it, and get it out there. So pop on in. I know you guys are going to have some questions, and I appreciate you guys coming on board. And I've got Instagram rolling, I've got YouTube rolling, I've got Facebook rolling, I've got LinkedIn rolling. So Twitter's rolling, everything's rolling right now, and it's awesome. Except for TikTok. I'm not on TikTok right now, but that's okay. So here we go. Hold on. I'm going to open up the comments. Here we go. All right. So we are talking about creating content that is engaging. We're also talking about how to develop it. We're talking about how to produce it. And we're talking about how to shoot it and all of that good stuff. So we're going to start off with step number one. Step number one is the development of your content. And so if you guys are not clear about what it is that you're trying to post, maybe you're putting out content that just doesn't really make sense or it's not resonating with a certain demographic, then who cares, right? So this is what I would recommend. Get on a thing called either hashtag expert, something that like you can just check your hashtags on, and go to your niche that is that people are looking for, right? And I'll share this with you guys here in the chat, which I've been using as a way to really get down and dirty about the niches that we should be a part of and what are people looking at and what do they care about. So here are the 13. David, I am on live on all platforms, so you can just hang out wherever you want. So anyway, 13 profitable niches that make a ton of money right now. So people are looking up how to make money online. So if you guys are interested, if you guys are talking about how to make money online, a lot of people are looking at that. You're talking about finance, how to save money, how to make money. A lot of people are looking at finance. A lot of people are interested in travel as well. So if you guys have travel tips, travel hacks, get on travel. Fitness is huge. Personal development is also big. Relationships, so how to cope with divorce, how to cope with breakups, how to have a healthy relationship, lifestyle, real estate's big, gadgets and technology is huge, food is big, entertainment, pets, and gaming. Okay, so here's the thing. You can still have your business, but then you can talk about this particular subject matter that you're passionate about. And some of them are going to mix, right? Some are your business, plus they are the niche that's good. So, for instance, if you're a personal injury attorney and you're trying to create content that talks about personal injury, but also maybe about coping with trauma, maybe about coping with an accident. If you're a family law attorney, maybe you're talking about relationship advice and how to have a good marriage, right? If you are in the real estate biz, then obviously we're talking about possibly flipping houses, foreign real estate, investment properties. You can also talk about relocation, commercial properties, things like that. So I would definitely lean into those things because those are the things that people are going to be watching. And there's also going to be things that people are going to be latching onto. And the more eyeballs, the more engagement, the higher, the views are going to be. So if you guys are tuning in, thank you guys so much. We're talking about content into cash and how to develop your content marketing strategy. So that's step number one, figuring out what your niche is, right? And making sure that people are actually following those niches and that you can talk about it at length. Okay. So that's step number one. Step number two, you've got to create your social media calendar. I don't care if you're using Asana, maybe Monday.com, some sort of software that you can plan out all of your calendar, all of your social media in one place where you can write out the captions, you can write out the hashtags, and then you put the graphic or the video inside that day, so that it makes it super easy for your social media manager to distribute that content, right? But we have to create the calendar first, develop the content, right? And then that takes you, that'll help you have a nice plan of action, so that you're just not figuring out what to post the day of, because that's not consistent. And the thing that really helps businesses or brands grow is consistency in posting, right? So if you're posting every day, you're going to reach more people every day. So make sure that you guys are putting out content consistently. But in order to do that, you have to think about, how are we pre-planning this? How are we working from the end, right? And then going back and figuring out, okay, if this is the distribution, then we know what we need to shoot. So that's what step number one. Get on your niches, figure out what it is that you're trying to do, develop that message, figure out what it is that you're trying to say, then create your social media calendar. So we're gonna go. Let's do an example. Here's a client that we service. They are called the Fat Cat Killers. And if you guys aren't into crypto, I would recommend getting into crypto, guys. Especially with these cats. Oh, look, hold on, give me 1 second, because I want to see where the I need to see where we can open up the comments section. Sweet deal. All right. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comment section. However, here we go. So Fat Cat Killer, they are a payment processing company that helps businesses avoid chargebacks by using cryptocurrency. So it's a really cool thing that's going to be popping off on September the 15th. We've been handling their social media. And so they've got two things that they're talking about. They're talking about their payment processing system, and they're also talking about the coin. Those are two things that we're promoting actively, right? So some of the things that we started looking up is, hashtag cryptocurrency, hashtag Bitcoin, hashtag Ethereum, hashtag, all of these different things that have to do with the niche. And then we're also, when all of those videos pop up, we're looking through and we're going, okay, these are high performing videos, right? These videos you see at, 40, 50, 60,000 views. So why aren't we answering those questions? Because that's exactly what people are looking for. So we'll go, okay, hey, on September the 13th, we're talking about Killer Coin is now listed on FCF Pay, right? Because that's something that's happening. So we know that on the 13th, that's what we're posting. Before we know that, when we go into the video production part of that, we're creating that video so that we know that on September 13th, it goes out on that day. We put all of the captions in, we put the hashtags in, and then all we have to do is drop the video in, and the social media manager at that point, boom, can get it out. Super, super easy. But if you guys aren't developing the right messaging, developing the right brand, it doesn't matter what it is that you guys are creating. Nobody's going to resonate with that material, right? And that's when you're going to get 4 or 5 or 6 views on a particular video. But if you want higher videos, you've got to answer questions that people are already looking for, right? So, go ahead and leave me questions in there, and I will get to it as soon as I can. So you're putting in all of, so the 13th, we're doing that. The 14th, we're doing, we've just burned 25% of the total supply. The 15th, we're doing in 2023, it's going to be possible to use your Killer Wallet together with Killer Pay. On the 16th, right? Blah, 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 all the way down for the entire month. That way we can take that content, and now that becomes our outline for what we're going to go shoot. So step 1 is development of the content. Develop everything. get it in the social media calendar, make sure that everything is set up properly. Then we're rolling into pre-production. Okay. So pre-production is super, super, super important because without the scripts, without a shot list, without some sort of guidelines on what exactly it is that we're shooting the day of, you're gonna waste a lot of time, right? Number one, you're going to be all over the place, and nobody's gonna really understand, how it is that we're trying to fix everything, right? How we're going to go in there and be as efficient as possible so that we have 4 hours to create 30 to 40 to 50 pieces of content, right? Which is incredible. So we're going in with pre-production. We're figuring out what the topics are. And then the writer, the content writer, is going to go in there and he's going to go, okay, here's what we're talking about. This in particular, he's going to do his research on Google. He's going to figure out what the key points are. Because here's the thing about these videos is that you want to make sure that you're getting to the meat of it immediately. Nobody cares about who you are really. Like, so you don't even need to introduce yourself. If they're on your page, they're going to follow you anyway. You don't need to ask them to follow you. Just get to it, right? Here's the hook. This is why people are watching the video. This is what we're talking about, right? And then this is what the hook, the meat, and then the call to action. What is it that you want them to do? Do you want them to visit you guys online? Do you want them to give you a phone call? Do you want them to post? Do you want them to hit you up on the DM? Figure out what it is exactly it is that you want them to do for the call to action. Okay. So that's so those are 3 things: hook, meet, call to action. And that's what you do in the pre-production. We figure it out. So for instance, I'll give you an example for me, right? One of my videos that we're shooting this month, are 3 types of content your social media needs, right? So that's the hook. And then I go, number 1, shareable content. These are trending reels, funny, entertaining videos. Number 2, educational. These help build you up as an authority. There's going to increase credibility and trust, of course. And then 3, promotional, right? So these are things, your offers, your soft offers, things that have a deadline. Thank you guys so much for watching. And then boom, call to action. If you guys, need help with your social media or content marketing, boom. So that's one video. And so now when I send this to the filmmaker or the videographer, they know exactly what it is that they need to do. Bop, 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 bop. So it's all outlined in the pre-production. So we've talked about developing your message, branding. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is the pre-production. That is writing all of the scripts. That's figuring out where you're going to shoot. That's figuring out who needs to be on the shoot. So if you guys have actors that you need, hair and makeup is super important. So think about your shoot days like it's a movie, right? You want to make sure you got to make a hair and makeup there. You want to make sure that there's food because you're gonna run out of energy, and it's got to be good food. It's got to be like healthy and energizing foods, not things that are going to slow you guys down. So all of that stuff happens in pre-production. Okay, you guys get the pre-production down. Then once you guys set the date, we roll into production. And production should be a super easy day if you've planned out everything correctly. If you didn't, then it's going to be a problem, right? Like I said, you're going to be all over the place. But if okay, at 11 o'clock, we're shooting blank, 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 these videos. And then at noon, we're going to shoot these videos. And at 1, we're going to take a break. 2 o'clock, we're going to shoot these. 3 o'clock, we're going to do that. 4, boom. Then you're super, it's super polished. And then when you hand them to the editor in post-production, which we'll talk about here in a second, is going to make it easier for them to speed through editing all of this stuff. Because here's the thing, it's all about speed, right? You want to make sure that you're getting all of the content out quickly. If you have to wait a month or 2 months or 3 months, then what's the point, right? You want to batch create all of that content in that one day and then give it to the editor so that they can just bang it out. And here's the thing that I want you guys to think about. When it comes to content marketing, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? I know a lot of business owners out there, they want things to be perfect. And they're like, oh, I'm not going to put it out there until it's right. It doesn't really matter on social media these days. And unfortunately, as a filmmaker and as somebody that's come from like the film background, I've had to learn that quality at this point when you're putting out content is not the most important thing. It's not the stuff that's getting the most views. It is the iPhone footage that you guys are shooting with like fun transitions and things like that that like get the most views. It's not because I have a red camera and it looks amazing and I'm lighting it properly. And granted, if you're going to create like a video business card and something that's a little bit more in depth and you want it to make it look amazing, then great. Sure, use, light it properly and make sure that you're using the top line equipment. But if you guys are wanting views, if you guys are wanting engagement, it's about speed. It's about getting it out there. It's really not judging the content too harshly, because at the end of the day, you're also figuring out what it is that people like, because they're going to let you know. They're going to be engaging with that content. They're going to be like, oh my God, this is really good advice, or this is really funny, or this is really whatever. If you are waiting to put out content because you're waiting for it to be perfect, you're missing the point. And actually, the things that look a little bit less polished are getting more views too. So don't worry about being perfect. Just put out the content, right? And I know a lot of people talk about having this imposter syndrome. It's like, who am I? Who wants to listen to me? Why? Why does it matter? Look, I resonate with some people and I have a lot of haters too. So it doesn't really matter. Like, some people like my content, some people don't. If people like it, that's awesome. If they don't like it, that's cool too. I don't really care. And you're going to have trolls on your page anyway. But if you're paying more attention to the trolls, I think you're missing the point again. Because at the end of the day, it really is about how are you helping? How are you, creating solutions to people's problems? How frequent? Every day. I post every day. Look, some people are posting 3 to 4 times a day, and they're getting found easier. They're staying top of mind, So a lot of, I would urge you guys to not worry about the quality so much and really worry about the content itself. Like in the pre-production and the development phase of what it is that you guys are saying, like, what are people looking for? How are you answering those questions? How are you helping? And that's what people are going to be watching. And so it doesn't really matter. Then just pick up the phone and shoot yourself talking about that specific thing that is going to be helping people. And you already know that people are looking up. Like, people are already searching for that stuff. And that's something that I had to learn. Man, pride is a mother flower, huh? I'm like, oh, Armando knows this, Armando knows that. And I'm like, you know what, Armando, like, just let's put the ego down, right? And let's really research, what is it that people are looking for? What is it that people are looking at? And then let's talk about that. I don't have to sit around and think about and brainstorm what I think people want to hear. I don't have to do that. What I do need to do is research what people are already looking for and then give them my perspective on that particular topic. That's it. Because guess what? There's no original ideas anymore. There's not. It's this idea mixed with this idea mixed with that idea. Oh, all of a sudden it's a new idea, even though it really isn't. It's just packaged differently, right? And that's something that I learned in the film business is like, they're like, yeah, they want new, but they want something familiar. So they want something that everybody kind of knows about with a new twist, right? And so that's, social media is the same thing as making movies, right? You're developing the script, you're going into pre-production, right? You develop, right? Make sure that all of that stuff's done. Then you go into pre-production where you're hiring the director and the actors and the crew and all of that. Then you go into production, you're shooting everything. Then you're going into the editing, right? And while editing is going on, you're going into the marketing, the distribution phase, right? Which is, billboards and commercials and social media and all of that stuff, right? So it's the same thing for social media. I want you guys to think about social media like it's a television show, right? And everybody expects to see your television show. every day or 3 times a week or once a week, whatever it is, just stay consistent, right? Right now, I'm about 70 episodes into my podcast called Spaghetti on the Wall, which you guys can check out on Spotify. But it is consistent, and that's how I've been able to grow it. And shoot, some of my videos have seen, 70,000 plus views on just one video. It happens, right? But that's the consistency of the content, right? And you're also going to get better at creating content while you're doing it. You cannot create content hoping and wishing and seeing how other people are doing it, because they're not you, right? And how they've become successful may or may not be the way you become successful. I did say that you want to make sure that you are following the topics because people are already looking at that, and that's fine, right? But I also want you to put your own spin on it, right? Because that's why people are going to come in and they want your perspective. I was in a clubhouse the other day, and I was listening to a public speaking forum, and one of the people were talking about like the imposter syndrome. And one of the things that they were talking about is I could have this message, these same words, the same messaging, and I could say it, right? And then somebody comes in and they can say the exact same words, the exact same message, and it may not resonate, right? Because maybe that person doesn't like the way he looks or like the way he speaks or like the way he, no, who knows what that reason is, but they might resonate with me. And so now I have those followers, even though I'm saying the same things, right? They're just absorbing it differently. They're absorbing it from me differently than they would from a Tony Robbins, and they would from an Eric Thomas, for whoever. So don't let the fact that there are people out there creating content discourage you from creating your own content, right? And finding the people that are going to mesh with you and your backstory and why they're following you, right? As opposed to somebody else, right? Maybe more Latinos are following me because I'm Latino and I understand the backstory of Latin Americans, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe people are seeing what I'm saying and they're resonating with that stuff. Even though the same social media tips and content marketing is the same, you never know how people are getting that. So all that to say is that when you're posting, right, and you're consistently posting and you're learning through the process, you're going to find your tribe. You're going to find your followers, and they're going to let you know what they want to hear. They're going to let you know what they feel, what they want to hear, and you can start using that data to every month create new content that resonates with your followers, and you're going to find more and more followers. And look, here's the thing. You do not need 1 million followers to make $1 million. You don't. You just need your tribe that understands you, that want to follow you, that believe you can solve their problem, and that they want to work with you, and they're resonating with your messaging and how you say things. They're like, man, I really understand that person. And look, the variety is the spice of life, right? That's why music is such a great tool, because like I love salsa and merengue, and some people like reggaeton, and some people like hip hop, and some people like classical, and some people like all of this different thing. And so you never know how people are interacting with your content. So backing it up, number one, develop your content properly. What is your brand? Who are you talking to? Whose problems are you solving? And here's the thing too, it's like, don't try to solve everybody's problem. You can't solve everybody's problem. You just can't, right? And if you niche it down, you'll have more money, because now at this point, you don't have to think about changing your approach every single time. You niche it down and you're like, I know exactly what this person needs. I've helped that people like them in the past, right? And I'll continue to refine this for that particular niche. And then when your content goes out, people know, oh, hey, they're going to come to your channel for that content, right? So for me, people come to my channel for social media tips, business insight, content marketing, how to shoot, everything that has to do with that, right? So think about what it is that you guys are trying to say first, then roll into pre-production, write out all the scripts, the topics, then roll into production, make sure that everything is set from beginning to end so that you're like, okay, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this. Then post-production, and finding an editor or editors that understand what your aesthetic is, music and all of that, so that when you're putting out content, it looks good, it sounds good, and it reaches the right people, right? And they're fast. They need to be fast because you need to be if you're doing 31 days of content, that's 31 days that they need to be, editing videos. And look, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm still gonna post pictures and memes and things like that. And that's great. You can still do that. We found that video is the highest in terms of engagement. So we just post videos, right? And then distribution is also extremely important. So if you guys don't know, for us, we post everywhere. We post on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, even Clubhouse, and we're consistent throughout the whole process. Every day, we're posting on all of those channels. Why? Because we never know who's going to see that content, and that video that they see may turn into a lot of money. And look, I'm only giving you guys advice on how to use social media for business. If you guys are using social media for fun, then it doesn't matter, right? This video is probably not for you. So, but if you're wanting to use this as a tool to market for your business, then you have to be consistent with your posting, intentional about your posting, right? Because then your DMs will start to blow up. I get, I don't know, between 15 and 20 direct messages a day. And that's from several different platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Hey, what are you doing? What is this? What is that? I'm answering questions. Boom. I get a client. I at this point, I should write that down. I don't even know how many people, 90% of the people that I've been doing business with have found me because of my social media. And that's super powerful, right? You're my referral partners, people that I do, people I do videos for, people that we edit for, people that we consult, all find me because of my social media. And so they can find you as well if you guys are doing it daily or at least 3 times a week, right? But if you really want to grow fast, if you really want to scale your business quick, then I would recommend posting every single day. Okay. So distributing across all platforms. And here's another thing, right? There's a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of people not on TikTok, right? There's a lot of people that hang out on LinkedIn. There's a lot of people that don't hang out on LinkedIn, right? People prefer Instagram, or they prefer Facebook, or maybe they're just strictly Twitter. If you guys are posting across all platforms, you're making sure that you have a presence around all of the platforms. And that has been the single most important thing that I've seen that have scaled people's businesses. And look, I'll throw out some numbers to you guys that blew my mind. I've seen lawyers go from like $700K a year to like 2.4 million and like 5 million. And some are about to hit 8 figures because they're consistently posting online. And here's the beautiful thing about creating content monthly, right? For these batch creations, it's you really start to get confident about what it is that you do, right? And then you start thinking about the case studies and the stories that of people you've helped, and you start sharing that stuff, and you start getting better and better and better, and people start to notice, and you start to get more followers, and you start to refine your messaging and all of these things because you're just being more consistent. And here's another thing is that people appreciate when you're giving content for free, right? Like right now, I've spent 30 minutes talking about this. I hope if you can take at least one of these things and help it grow your business, that's fantastic, right? What I'm trying to do at this point is just try to give back as much as possible. and be a resource and be some help, because people were super helpful to me. I've had some amazing mentors in my life, and they've helped me along the way. I'm never done learning, right? But I think that if you guys can take what I'm saying and apply it to your business, I know that it will work for you, right? Um, and here's a quick commercial for my business, LeDuc Entertainment. LeDuc Entertainment. So we do this all for our clients. So every part of the process, if they want development and they just want to sit with us as in a consultation, for us to like really sit down and figure out what their branding is and what their messaging is and all of that, like we do that too. We do that for clients all the time if they want to like sit with us. If they want us to write out the scripts and plan out the shoot, we can do that too. Super easy. If they want us to come out and actually shoot, obviously we do that too. And we have 10 editors on staff. So if people need videos edited, we are fast. We are super fast. So if people want editing done, we can do the editing. And then post-production too. We can help guide people on how to distribute the content, or we can distribute the content too. Right. So we have an in-house team to do the whole nine. So if you guys are looking for that, hit us up. Thanks, Ellen. Yes. And look, shout out to Ellen McDowell. Something that I didn't mention, which shame on me for not mentioning, email marketing is not dead. Email marketing, guys, is the thing that will convert those leads into actual clients, because the emails are going to do your follow-ups for you. Right? As long as you guys have a nice customer journey all planned out from like A to point Z, and you're letting the customer know, hey, we're in this phase now. We're in this phase now. We're in this phase now. And this is how we can help. If those emails are going out, I'm telling you, you can convert a lot more clients that way if you have a nice email automation going. So Ellen McDowell can help you with that. Hit us up at LeDuc Entertainment, and I'll put you guys in contact, because that is also I totally forgot about telling you guys that portion of it, because email marketing is not dead. I would recommend it highly. So recap, and then I'm gonna roll out unless you guys have questions, and I can answer questions. But step number 1, develop your message, branding, colors, catchphrase, hashtag. What is it? Who are you trying to contact? All of that stuff, right? That's step number 1. Number 2, pre-production. Write, create the topics, outline everything. Where are you guys shooting? Who's coming? Get the food for the shoot. All of that stuff needs to be handled in pre-production. Roll into production, right? This time, we're shooting all of this. We're getting our shots. We're getting our B-roll. Roll into post-production, send it out to the editors, distribute the content properly. And distributing the content properly means the captions and the hashtags, and making sure that you're doing engagement on your social media as well, right? So if you guys are not engaging with your people properly, like we spend about an hour a day engaging with our, the hashtags that we're following, and we follow people. We engage by commenting. We're engaging with stories, and we're just playing well with others. We're being friendly, right? Without expecting anything in return. We're not trying to like sell people. So that's my time. If you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to us at LeDucEntertainment.com. You can also DM me. And if we can help with your content, let me know. Signing off. Really enjoy this StreamYard. Guys, StreamYard, I'm using it to go live on like several different platforms. It's excellent. I love it. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. DM me if you guys have any questions, and I'll see you soon.